Hello guys, welcome to Benghazi TV. It's been a while actually. I joined you with some updates. I've got some quick updates for you before I get into my content for the day. But like I always tell you, subscribe to the channel. It's important. It's Benghazi TV on YouTube and also now on TikTok. Subscribe to this wonderful channel because this year we have something special coming through for you on this wonderful channel, Benghazi TV. We have a wonderful podcast coming up in no time. We'll speak everything sports. We'll talk about everything sport this year on the special podcast we are bringing you, on Benghazi TV. Is the Footy podcast. The Footy podcast. So it tells it what it's going to be about. It's all going to be about sports. Football dominates though, but everything sports for us. Subscribe to the channel and let's do it when we start. Okay. Today, of course, just a few days into the new president of Ghana's tenure, we have a new president in John Dramani Mahama. It's about 2 or so days since he was inaugurated, of course, as the president of that nation. And already he's begun some ministerial appointments. This afternoon, there was news of 3 appointments done by the president for the finance ministry, of course, we had also had for energy, as well as the Attorney General's office as well. That has been sorted out. But for us on the sporting front, our interest is in who becomes the next sports minister in Ghana. Over the years, we've had our own issues with the people or the persons who have been appointed into this very important ministry over the years, and whether they have played out their role to the best interest of this nation on the sporting front. So, with a new president, a new government now in place, it's a question we are asking ourselves. Who takes over that ministry? It's a ministry that has got a lot of issues, clearly. Over the years, several controversies. There has been even imprisonment because persons in that ministry didn't do things right. You remember Malam Issa, the first minister for sports under President Kufuor? He was in prison, actually. Also remember, our very own MP for Asawase Muntaka and late President John Ivatata Mills. Issues came up over some monies. Recall some pampers issues all came up. So it's a ministry has got a lot of issues. Even the last minister, Mustafa Yusuf, if you recall, there's several controversies over spending around the Black Stars at African Games and the expenditure, all of that. So it is key who becomes the sports minister. I'm not forgetting about 2014, the World Cup and Elvis the Free and Cry and all the stories from Brazil. So, like I said, the question now is who becomes the next sports minister and what should be considered by the president in nominating or choosing someone to become the sports minister. Should it be anybody at all that we nominate like we've seen done in previous years? Or should there be a special criteria, a special influencing factor why person A should be given the nomination confirmed as Ghana's sports minister? These are questions the presidency need to look at and answer. It has to be someone who I think has the commitment, has the knowledge, has the know-how, and knows that sports now is not just for leisure. And that sports now is a multi-billion industry generating billions, millions of dollars, cities all over the world. And so that person coming in will have to appreciate that simple fact that sports no more is something for leisure. Like sometimes clearly in Africa and in Ghana, top men see sports still as leisure. It is now a multi-billion industry or business. So whoever we are thinking of appointing into that ministry must be someone who appreciates this simple fact, so can get into that ministry and begin to change the narrative. Because how it's been over the years, we cannot continue this way. When it is all the sports ministries do over the years is to dedicate a huge chunk of our budgets into just running the Black Stars of Ghana for tournaments, neglecting the other very important sporting sectors as well. Investment into infrastructure. These are the things we need to look at, and how we can also liaise with the various federations: football, badminton, tennis, boxing, athletics, name them in Ghana, hockey, golf, that can ensure that we begin to see these other disciplines on the sporting front also begin to achieve and bring some laurels to Ghana. So who takes over the sports ministry? So the question we're asking ourselves. Now, in the recent days since the change or our last elections, some names have popped up as persons who could be given nominations to fill that vacant or that big or hot seat as Ghana's sports minister. One big name that has come up, obviously, is the name of Honorable Nii Lante van der Poel, a former sports minister himself under the John Mahama governance in the 2014, 15, 16 thereabout. You recall when he was given a nomination, someone who really, of course, has a very huge history on the sporting side. A sports commentator, has been so deep in the issues of sports. So when he came into the ministry, you know, clearly, those were the days when we had, Kwesi as the GFA president. Then there were lots of bust-ups between the two of them over Black Stars, budgetary issues, and all of that. But it's someone who has a huge love for sports, clearly. Boxing, athletics, football itself, he has a huge love for the sport. His name has come up massively. Will it be Nii Lante van der Poel who gets a nomination as a sports minister? If you read on social media, his name is all over the place. There are several sports pundits who are clearly pushing to get Nii Lante van der Poel in as Ghana's sports minister. Will it be him that gets a nod to become the sports minister? We'll wait and see. One other name that has also come up big time clearly is a member of the current GFA Executive Committee or Council, Dr. Randy Abbey. Now, Randy Abbey, as you all know, is a club owner as well. He's the owner of Heart of Lions, who play in the Ghana Premier League. And like I said, someone who is no stranger to sports and football in the country. Also a former sports journalist who moved into the annals of political discussion, the political area as well, becoming a host for a popular Ghanaian political show, Good Morning Ghana on Metro TV. Plus, of course, still active on the sporting front. Like I said, he's the owner of Heart of Lions, a Ghana Premier League side, and also a member of the GFA ESCO. So he's someone who is deep already in sports, and he has close, affiliations with the president, John Dramani Mahama. Is the reason why persons close have named him as possibly someone who could be given a nomination by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama as Ghana's sports minister because of his knowledge in the sports and also being close to the corridors of power. As a good friend of John Mahama. Don't forget, actually, that he has also recently retired from active journalism. Just some few days ago, he announced officially that he was leaving journalism. He was leaving his program on Metro TV, and that seemed to have given an indication of possibly he getting some different role in government. And there's a reason why he's been mentioned as someone who could be given the role as a sports minister. So that's Randy Abbey, or Dr. Randy Abbey's name also has come up big time. The other person whose name has also come up possibly for that role is someone also being very active in sports all these years, from his association with rugby initially, then to football, and now again back to rugby. Talking about Herbert Mensah. Herbert Kwabena Amponsa Mensah is no stranger to the sporting front in Ghana, a former CEO, board chairman as well of Kotoko, also a former chairman or co-chairman, if you like, of Ken Faisal. At a point, he had a role to play also at Hearts of Hope, and now he's the president of Rugby Africa. That's massive. He's the current president of Rugby Africa, and that tells you that he's now so deep in sports on the continent, the whole of Africa. He's the president for the Federation, of course, rugby. So Rugby Africa, he's the president now from Ghana, but being the big man in charge of rugby on the continent. His name has come up again as a possible name for the ministry. This is someone clearly who over the years has shown that he appreciates what it means to transform what you and I have known over the years as sports. He clearly, when he gets involved, takes to a different level altogether. So Herbert Mensah's name has come up massively. So these three names have come up: Dr. Randy Abbey, Nii Lante van der Poel, Herbert Mensah. These three names have come up massively. There have been other names that have already been mentioned, like Elvis Efri Ankra, former sports minister himself, and a few other names like Yawan Pofu Ankra, a sports analyst also we have in Ghana, a very experienced one. All these names have come up as possible names that could occupy the sports ministry. In the coming days, I'm sure that the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, will be announcing somebody to occupy that hot seat as a sports minister. Which of these names or any other person would you, watching me, want to see occupy that seat as Ghana's sports minister? Let's get to hear from you on that. Just give us a comment or two. Which individual would you want to see as Ghana's sports minister? Let's get the comments on that on this channel. And that should be it. Let's see how it goes. But in the coming days, we'll follow and let you in on that, on who becomes Ghana's next sports minister.